Hey cat lovers, and welcome back to another video. If you're a fan of presidential history and adorable feline friends, you're in for a treat. Since you guys loved our recent video about which US presidents had cats in the White House, we decided to create a follow-up about the most famous first feline. So today we're diving into the story of Socks the cat, one of the most famous pets to ever live in the White House. This tuxedo cat captured hearts across America during Bill Clinton's presidency and became a beloved cultural icon. If you enjoy this kind of content, then subscribe to the channel for more cat videos. Now let's unravel the fascinating tale of Socks the cat. The origin of Socks. Socks' story began long before he stepped paw into the White House. His life started on the streets of Arkansas, where he was a stray just trying to find food and shelter. But fate had other plans for him. In 1991, Chelsea Clinton, daughter of then Arkansas Governor Bill Clinton, was leaving her piano teacher's house when a cat suddenly jumped into her arms. This black and white tuxedo cat, with his distinctive white paws that looked like little socks, instantly charmed Chelsea. He was friendly, affectionate, and seemed to know exactly what he was doing. Chelsea and her friend named him Socks, and the Clintons decided to adopt him. At the time, Bill Clinton was serving as the governor of Arkansas, and Socks quickly settled into his new home at the governor's mansion in Little Rock. He was already living in luxury, but things were about to change in a big way. Socks moves into the White House. In 1992, Bill Clinton won the presidential election, making Socks an official first cat when the family moved into the White House in 1993. Socks quickly made himself at home in the nation's most famous residence. He could often be seen lounging on the White House lawn, watching birds, and basking in the attention of staff and visitors. One of his favorite spots was the South Lawn, where he loved to explore and relax in the sun. He also spent a lot of time sitting by the White House windows, gazing at the receptors and tourists gathered outside. It didn't take long for Socks to steal the hearts of the American people. If Socks is starting to steal your heart, click that like button so that more cat lovers can learn about him. A media sensation. Socks wasn't just a beloved pet in the Clinton household, he became a full-fledged media star, captivating the press and the public alike. From the moment he arrived at the White House, photographers couldn't get enough of him. He was frequently spotted strolling across the White House lawn, lounging in the press briefing room, and even perching confidently on Bill Clinton's shoulder. His playful yet dignified presence made him an instant favorite, and his popularity only grew from there. Soon, Socks was not just a first pet, he was one of the most recognizable cats in American history. His rise to fame extended far beyond photo ops. Socks became an integral part of White House culture, appearing on official White House holiday cards where his tuxedo markings made him stand out against festive backdrops. He was also featured in the children's book Dear Socks, Dear Buddy, which compiled letters from kids across the country addressed to him and Buddy, the Clintons' Labrador Retriever. The book provided a charming glimpse into how deeply children connected with Socks, writing to him as if he were a real-life cartoon character. Speaking of cartoons, Socks even had his own dedicated page on the White House website, designed to engage young visitors with educational content. The site featured a cartoon version of Socks, guiding kids through government-related topics in a way that was fun and accessible. This was a groundbreaking move at the time, as it made Socks one of the first pets to have an online presence, a rarity in the early days of the internet. Perhaps one of the most famous images of Socks was captured in the White House press briefing room, where he sat confidently on the podium as if preparing to address the nation. This moment became symbolic of his influence. He wasn't just a pet in the background, he was an active part of the White House's public image. Journalists adored him, and he frequently appeared in newspaper cartoons, satirical sketches, and magazine covers, often depicted as a wise, knowing feline navigating the complexities of Washington policies. Socks had achieved something truly special. He had transcended politics and became a symbol of charm, warmth, and relatability. In a time of intense political debates, he provided a rare point of unity. After all, who could resist a charismatic tuxedo cat with a knack for stealing the spotlight? Socks' relationship with Buddy the dog. In 1997, the Clintons welcomed a new furry member into the family, a chocolate Labrador Retriever named Buddy. While Buddy was a lovable and energetic dog, his arrival was not met with enthusiasm from Socks. The tuxedo cat spent years as the undisputed ruler of the White House, enjoying his time as the sole first pet, and he wasn't ready to share the spotlight. Despite efforts to introduce the two gradually, Socks and Buddy never warmed up to each other. Socks, who was used to roaming the White House freely, now had to contend with an excitable dog who wanted to play, but Socks wasn't interested. The situation became so tense that Hillary Clinton later revealed that the two had to be kept completely separated to prevent conflicts. Their rivalry was so well known that it even became a subject of humor among political commentators and cartoonists. Some satirical pieces depicted them as political opponents, with Socks representing the Democratic Party and Buddy symbolizing the Republicans. The playful comparison added an extra layer of intrigue to their ongoing feud. Bill Clinton himself acknowledged the challenge of managing their relationship, famously joking, "I did better with the Palestinians and the Israelis than I've done with Socks and Buddy." While their differences never got resolved, they each had their own space within the White House, ensuring that both the feline and canine members of the Clinton household could be happy in their own way. Socks' public service and charity work. Socks wasn't just a photogenic White House pet, he had a role in public service as well. Unlike many presidential pets who remained largely out of sight, Socks was often brought along for charitable events, hospital visits, and educational initiatives. His friendly and calm demeanor made him a perfect ambassador for various causes, particularly those involving children and animals. One of Socks' most notable contributions was his involvement in pet adoption awareness. As a former stray himself, Socks served as a living example of the importance of rescuing animals in need. The Clintons made a point to highlight his journey, demonstrating how a once homeless cat could become a beloved member of the first family. This message resonated with animal welfare organizations, which used Socks' story to promote shelter adoptions. Socks also participated in school visits, where he became an unofficial educator, helping children learn about the White House, the role of a president, and the responsibilities of pet guardianship. His presence made the government seem a little less intimidating and a lot more relatable. Kids adored him, and he often received letters from young fans who considered him their favorite part of the Clinton administration. Additionally, Socks took part in special events supporting pediatric hospitals, where he brought comfort to children undergoing treatment. His gentle nature and soothing purrs provided a source of happiness to those who needed it most. Whether posing for pictures with young fans or simply curling up beside someone in need of companionship, Socks made a meaningful impact beyond the walls of the White House. The end of Socks' White House era. In 2001, as Bill Clinton's presidency came to an end, it was time for the family to leave the White House. However, this transition wasn't as simple for Socks as it was for the humans. With Buddy still part of the household and their ongoing feud showing no signs of improving, a difficult decision had to be made regarding Socks' future. Ultimately, the Clintons decided that it would be in Socks' best interest to live in a quieter, more peaceful environment. He was adopted by Betty Curie, Bill Clinton's former secretary, and her husband, who had always been fond of him. The move ensured that Socks could enjoy his retirement without the stress of living alongside an energetic dog. Socks settled into his new home in Maryland, where he enjoyed a much more relaxed lifestyle. Though he was no longer in the public eye as frequently, he remained a beloved figure and people continued to ask about him. Occasionally, he made appearances at charity events, and fans sent letters and gifts to show appreciation for their former first cat. Despite leaving the White House behind, Socks remained a symbol of charm, resilience, and the special bond between humans and their feline companions. His retirement years were spent in comfort, surrounded by people who loved him. Socks' legacy and final years. As Socks grew older, he continued to live a peaceful and comfortable life with Betty Curie and her family. Though he had left the White House behind, he remained a cherished companion, enjoying his retirement in the quiet surroundings of his new home. However, in 2008, the Clinton family's former first cat faced a difficult battle. He was diagnosed with cancer. Despite receiving dedicated medical care, his condition worsened, and by early 2009, it became clear that his health was failing. On February 20th, 2009, at the age of 19, Socks was humanely euthanized to prevent further suffering. His passing marked the end of an era, and the outpouring of tributes that followed reflected just how deeply he had touched the hearts of people across the country. Political figures, animal advocates, and cat lovers alike honored his memory, sharing stories of how he had brought joy to millions. Why Socks was so special. So what made Socks such a legendary presidential pet? Unlike previous White House cats who mostly stayed out of the public eye, Socks fully embraced the media spotlight. From the moment he stepped into the White House, he became more than just a pet. He was a public figure in his own right. Whether he was posing for official holiday cards, appearing at charity events, or playfully sitting on the press briefing podium, Socks had a natural charisma that captivated both journalists and the American people. Beyond his media fame, Socks symbolized warmth and charm during a politically turbulent era. The 1990s were filled with intense debates and partisan clashes, but Socks remained a unifying figure, a simple, wholesome presence that brought joy to millions. His role extended beyond entertainment, as he also helped promote animal welfare. Through public appearances and school visits, he played a role in educating children about kindness to animals and responsible pet care. His story, from stray to first cat, resonated with many, reinforcing the importance of adopting and caring for pets. Even years after his passing, Socks remains a cultural icon. His legacy endures not just among history buffs fascinated by presidential pets, but also among cat lovers who continue to celebrate his charm, his story, and his impact on the White House and beyond. Socks the cat wasn't just a pet, he was a superstar. Now we'd love to hear from you. What do you think about Socks' story? Let us know in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this presidential cat tale, we invite you to check out one of these PAWSOME videos next. We'll see you there, cat lovers.